Welcome back everybody to Tabletop Tactics. You join me in the midst of the Grotmas Advent celebration. We've seen lots of new detachments for lots of different factions so far. And then as another Christmas treat, we've been given our Deathwatch back. Yes, they have returned to the fray. We have our army rule back. We've got detachment rule. The units are back as well. There's not a ton of changes from what it was before, but the important thing to know here is that you Deathwatch players have all of your toys back. We got Killteams, we've got Stratagems, we've got Enhancements. Let's get into what's new. The army rule is Killteams once again. Yes, the Killteams we know and love are back. You're able to mix different units together into your cool kill teams as it was before, as it should be. And basically what this means is when attacks are targeting your kill teams, you go with majority toughness. So if you've got different toughness characteristics, you go with whatever you have the most of. If you have an equal amount, you go with the higher. So exactly as it was before, nice and easy. As for the detachment rule, we have the Black Spear Task Force returning. So this basically allows all of those Primaris units to return once again to the Deathwatch. Still can't take units from things like Space Wolves and Dark Angels and Blood Angels and Black Templars as we had previously. And just like it was before, we also can't take any of the Firstborn stuff, but I don't think anyone was too worried about that. The only other thing that's changed this time is that you can't take any of the Deathwatch units that appear in the Imperial Agents Codex. So all of the rules that are on those data sheets can't be taken here. We don't need them anymore because we have our new detachment. Mission tactics have also returned. So we have Furor tactics, Malleus tactics, and Purgatus once again. When Furor tactics are activated, we get sustain 1 on our attacks. When Malleus is activated, we get lethal hits, and we have Purgatus tactics, which allows our units to have precision. Now this applies to your entire army. You choose these in the command phase, and you can only choose these once. So over the course of the battle, you need to be careful about where you pick them, but it should be familiar territory for those Deathwatch veterans out there. Moving on to the stratagems, we have a classic Armor of Contempt. Of course, it wouldn't be Space Marines without Armor of Contempt to keep your units nice and safe. Adaptive tactics, you can select in the command phase. You can pick up to 2 kill teams, and you can change the active mission tactic for each of those kill teams. This is quite handy because sometimes it can be a little bit rigid having to have exactly the same ability for all of your units. So this gives you an added bit of extra flexibility, and you can do this for only 1 CP. We then have 3 stratagems representing the Deathwatch's special issue ammunition. The first one is Hellfire rounds. So this allows 1 kill team that hasn't been selected to shoot so far. Until the end of the phase, they have anti-infantry 2+ and anti-monster 5. This allows you to shred through infantry with ease and also gives you a bit of a benefit with your infantry units to start chipping away at those monster units with a higher toughness as well. Because there's a little bit of a lack of anti-tank and anti-monster in this army, so this is a nice benefit. You can't use this if you use Kraken rounds or Dragonfire rounds, so just bear that in mind. And speaking of those, the Kraken round stratagem allows one of your units to extend the range by 6 inches when they're shooting, and also gives you an extra pip of AP. And with the Dragonfire rounds, you can equip your ranged weapons with Assault and Ignores cover. All of these have a place and are quite handy to do, and if you're running a few Watchmasters, you can do most of these for free, which is very nice indeed. They're not quite as good though as site-to-site teleportation. This allows 2 of your kill teams to be able to go up and down at the end of your opponent's fight phase, which gives extreme flexibility and much better board control. You can do this on up to 2 kill teams, which is really, really nice. This was similar in the previous index, but now we've got all of our infantry back. This is a really nice stratagem. Again, only 1 CP. Let's go on to the enhancements. Now, some of these feel a little bit spicy because this was brought over from the index previously. So compared to some of the more up-to-date codex enhancements, these feel pretty damn good. So we'll start off with the Thief of Secrets. So this is for your character's melee weapons. You can increase the AP, the strength, and the damage by 1. But on top of that, at the end of a fight phase, if the bearer has destroyed any enemy models, you increase the strength, AP, and damage by 1 for the rest of the battle. Now this is really powerful. We don't know about the points just yet, but again, compared to some other enhancements that affect weapons, this one feels really good. You can whack this on a captain, a watchmaster, whatever you want. It's very nice indeed. Next, we have the Osseous Key. This can only be put on a watchmaster or a tech marine. I'd probably suggest tech marine's good if you're taking like maybe a couple of redemptors or some more shooty vehicles. It's a really nice upgrade for a tech marine. This allows you in your enemy shooting phase to pick 1 unit within 12 inches of your bearer. they then must take a leadership test. Now, if the test is failed, the enemy unit has to subtract 1 from the hit roll, but if they fail the test, then they can't shoot at all. It's a cool upgrade and a good reason to take a Tech Marine to boost up your vehicle units. Next, we have the Beacon and Jealous, probably one of the best stratagems out of the 4. This can be put onto any Astartes character and gives their unit deep strike. It also gives them rapid ingress for free and just amplifies the ability for the army to move around and be mobile. So if you use this alongside site-to-site teleportation, you've got really good ball control. Excellent stuff. And finally, we have the Tome of the Ectoclades. This can be put onto a Watchmaster or a Captain and allows you once per battle to have a second Oath of Moment target activated. Should mention, Oath of Moment does exist in this detachment for the Deathwatch, so you do get all of your cool Deathwatch rolls, and we haven't lost Oath of Moment, so you can pick a unit for your reroll hits, and this allows you to do it twice. Depending on the points cost, this might be a bit of an auto take, because Oath of Moment is so powerful, but it's a nice extra option to have for your Watchmasters or your Captains. Let's move on to the data sheets. Now, a lot of these are the same as they were previously, so I won't go into too much detail on them, but we'll start off with the Watchmaster. This is the iconic character for the Deathwatch, and he is the same as he was previously. He allows a unit he's leading to shoot and declare a charge on a turn in which they fall back. This gives so much utility to a range of different units, so I'd probably take 3 across the army because you can, because they're so good, and they do really benefit from the enhancements as well. And you can as well, once per battle, reduce the cost of a stratagem by 1, which is excellent because most of the stratagems in this index are 1 CP. Watch Captain Artemis is here as well. He does feel a bit underpowered, so it's a bit of a shame to see he's not had any changes at all. So he's a bit of a take him or leave him kind of character in my opinion. We then have the Deathwatch Veterans. Of course, another iconic Deathwatch unit. They retain their rules they had in the previous index, so ignore what you see in the Agents of the Imperium. They still get reroll hit rolls of 1. If you're fighting against any Xenos units, you get full rerolls, and they get access to all of the cool Deathwatch Veterans options. Heavy Thunder Hammers, frag cannons, all that good stuff. It's all here for the Veterans. Deathwatch Terminators make a fond return as well. Very happy to see them returning to the Deathwatch fold, retaining their same abilities as they had before. You can reroll charges, of course, and you can do the teleport homer. The Corvus Black Star is the vehicle of choice for the Deathwatch. Very cool model. It does also give a bit of anti-monster, anti-vehicle punch that the army lacks a little bit. Has some mortal wounds output and can transport up to 12 Astartes or Kill Team infantry. It can also take jump pack, Gravis, Terminator, and Centurions, but taking up more space than they ordinarily would do. I love this model, it's excellent. And then we have the kill teams. Now some of these are a little bit different. So the first one is the Talon Strike kill team. And this allows you to take the new Astartes jump infantry, which we didn't have previously, which is very cool. But on top of that, you can also take what they're referring to as kill team heavy intercessors with jump packs. This is a bit weird because that essentially is an Inceptor. I don't know why they've changed the name in here. I guess it makes it a little bit more straightforward to understand for your opponent, maybe for yourself. But this is basically your fast jump pack unit. You can have up to 9 intercessors with jump packs and a sergeant, and you can have 0 to 5 Inceptors as well. Now, the minimum you need to take is only 3 of the jump packs. If you want to reduce the cost a little bit of this unit, but also boost up your Inceptors with their plasma, this is a really interesting way of doing it, so you can have some ablative wounds there to really help the survivability of your Inceptors as they unleash plasma death. In terms of their ability, they have Talon Strike Doctrines. Each time the unit is set up on the battlefield until the end of the turn, you increase the AP of your weapons by 1, and melee gets Lance. So this is quite interesting. This is encouraging you to deep strike with them. The Inceptors have already got a high AP on the plasma, so this is just a massive bonus. But if you are leaning a bit more towards the intercessors with their chainswords, having Lance is quite nice to give them a bit more punch as long as they make the charge. Next up, we have the Fortis kill teams. These are your intercessors, etc. So another weird naming convention here. When they're referring to all of the different units that can join this kill team, the names are different to what they are in Space Marines normally. So we have intercessors, where you can take 0 to 9 again. Then they're talking about kill team intercessors with plasma, kill team intercessors with heavy bolt pistols, kill team intercessors with pyre blasters, and kill team intercessors with super frag rocket launchers. So this is all of the different, the Hell Blasters, the Pyre Blasters, but they're putting the names into one thing, so they're all understandable within the Fortis kill team. I don't know if this means that they're going to change the name for Space Marines later on. It's a bit weird. For me, I quite like it because it's a lot easier to understand and the names aren't so weird. But interesting seeing them all grouped together in this way. Very interesting. The ability is exactly the same. We then have the Indomitor kill teams. This is where we have our heavy intercessors, aggressors, and eradicators, but they're all referred to as heavy intercessors with power fists, heavy intercessors with melter rifles. This is really weird. I'm trying to get my head around it, but it's kind of cool, I suppose. They have the Indomitor doctrines as their ability. This means that each time a model makes a ranged attack that charges the closest unit, or when you make a melee attack after you made a charge, you increase the strength by 2. This is pretty good. This is a different rule to what we had before. I can't even remember what it is at this point, but it means that these big, beefy, heavy intercessors can put out a decent amount of damage. So you want to push these forwards, you want to target the close units, make those charges, and you're packing a serious, serious punch. And then finally, we have the Spectrus kill teams. This is for all of your Phobos stuff. So this groups together the infiltrators, reavers, snipers, etc., and puts them into one squad. Their ability is called Spectrus Doctrines, and this means at the end of your opponent's turn, if you are more than 6 inches away from enemy units, you can remove them and put them into strategic reserve. Again, adding to the flexibility of your board control. It means that with this, with the Beacon and Jealous, with the site-to-site transportation, you can really zip across the board. It's really nice indeed. So yes, all of your Phobos stuff is in here, and I don't want to alarm anyone, but it says the combat knives for the Reavers now have AP1. They finally listened, they finally done it. The giant knives actually now have some AP. Praise be to the Deathwatch and the Long Vigil. So there you have it. That is the Deathwatch making their not so long awaited return since their move to the Imperial Agents. It's really nice to see that Deathwatch players can have their army back once again, so hooray for them. I suppose they could have made more changes to the index to make it feel a bit fresher, but that would have just taken way longer. I think the changes that have been made to the kill team abilities are really nice. It's nice and fluffy, but also they've got some decent tactical flexibility, and with your heavy intercessor squads, they've got some serious punch. Now we can mix vehicles back into the equation as well. You've got a really nice all-rounder army. You've got really good flexibility in terms of moving across the board. You've got teleports, you've got pickups, uppy downies, site-to-site transportation, specialist ammunition. It's a good time. I'm really excited to run the Deathwatch once again. You'll be seeing them very soon, on demand, of course, and here on Freeview in the future. So that's it. I've been Watchmaster Chaos Lord Beard. Thank you for joining me here today. Tell me what you think about the Deathwatch in the comments below, and we'll see you back here very soon. Enjoying today's video? Here's a quick look at what we've released this week for our on-demand members. These videos join a huge library of exclusive content that grows every week for our on-demand community. If you want instant access to all of these videos and more, head over to table.tactics.tv or download our app and sign up today. And currently, we have an introductory offer for new customers, so there's never been a better time to join on demand.